Hello Daily Drafters and welcome back to the channel for today's Daily Draft, the second to last Outlaws of Thunder Junction draft here on the channel before we finish out Thunder Junction season with the best deck tournament next week and into Modern Horizons 3 set review content the following week. It's coming real quick here, but we got a pack one pick one to dive into in our second to last draft here, and it's going to be an easy one. It is Ornery Tumblewag. Card is great, green is great, we want to play green, we want to play great cards. This is where you want to be. We've also got Spinewood Paladin and Giant Beaver, which is unfortunately going to put our neighbors into green too because these cards are good. But there is a Lock Picker as well as Frontier Seeker, and these cards are also very good. So the cards that'll go next should be Beaver, Paladin, Frontier Seeker, Lock Picker, and then from there it's kind of context dependent. But we will start with an Ornery Tumblewag, and well, Rise of the Varmints. Here is a card I've wanted to draft all format and have yet to been able to do so. But if we get it early and we already have an incentive to be green and we can hopefully pair this with black to get cards like the Vampire that mills to and also Patient Naturalist, that's exactly where this could go. I could just take the Desert's Due here, I'm going to try Rise of the Varmints and really hope that that works out. There they are. Desperate Bloodseeker, Patient Naturalist. These are the cards we need to make a deck like this work. And if we take Rise of the Varmints, we're going to build around it. We're going to take the Patient Naturalist here. I think Rambling Possum and Prairie Dog, well, I don't think. I know these are better cards, but we're building a Rise of the Varmints deck today, and you can't stop me. I have always seen that card basically pack 3 when I just like maybe am green but like cannot make good use of this. So we're going to draft a very heavy creature deck, maybe a little bit of interaction. An ideal spot for this is black-green. Get something like Honest Rutstein, get more Patient Naturalists, get Desperate Bloodseekers, and hopefully we can possibly get even a second Rise of the Varmints here. As there are no creatures in black or green, really. I mean, there's a Raven, but I don't think that's great. I don't want Tumbleweed Rising in my Rise of the Varmints deck. I could just take the Bristling Backwoods here. There's also a Mobile Homestead, which this isn't a creature, but in a very, very heavy creature deck, this actually is probably going to do some good work. And most green decks are going to be pretty heavy creature. I'm debating between this and the Backwoods, but I want to try the Homestead. I think it's going to end up being pretty okay in a deck like this. I'm just going to cut green, take the Commando. I mean, there's better cards like Desperado. We could have had double Desperado at this point, which would have been pretty interesting. There's also Raven and Fake Your Own Death. Fake Your Own Death, those just aren't really the cards I want in this kind of deck in an ideal world. So I'll just take the green creature that goes well with the Varmints and go from there. Bunch of 3-drops so far. And we know we're green. So we're going to fight for green here and hopefully find a second color to pair with it, which I'm just hoping is black, but we'll see. Alright, I'll take the Cactarantula over the Rooftop Assassin here and a couple of deserts. Like I said, we want to be pretty heavy on the creatures, and the Cactarantula does just that. We'll hopefully find some deserts here at some point to make this cost 5 a good portion of the time. But we are also sending basically 0 green signals to our neighbor over here, even though we passed a pack 1 that had a couple of good green cards in it. We're basically going to say, no, all that green, we're just not going to let you draft that here. And then in pack 2, we could get hooked up with green. So, as green is already cut for us here, I could take Overzealous Muscle to try to get into black-green. I don't think this is the kind of desert we want. I guess there's a chance we could still just be like straight green-white. I think Holy Cow is comparable to Prickly Pear, but green-white's a better deck, so maybe we get into that. But the green and basically all the black was gone there. I don't need to get into black for Overzealous Muscle, I don't think. But I do need to get into black for a pick 8 Desperate Bloodseeker. that is something I will do. Voracious Varmint, cut the green. There's Conviction, Imp's Mischief as well, but we'll take the Varmint here and really hope we can get another Rise of the Varmints for this deck. That would be ideal. Maybe a throw from the saddle or two. We don't have to play like literally like 21 creatures or anything, but you know, would I rather play Boots or Keykeeper if we end up going white? I'll just take the Boots. I don't think it matters too much. That is a late trained Airings. Wow. But Mourner Surprise goes perfectly in this deck. I'm going to take the Surprise. I think the Airings is the quote-unquote correct pick in that spot, though. Because the other Desperate Bloodseeker did not, in fact, will. That is a last pick Bucolic Ranch. Wow. Okay. Alright, Rakish Crew, probably not going to be at its best in a deck like this. There's no more Rise of the Varmints here. There's no Bloodseeker or Naturalist. I think I'll just take a Vault Plunderer as just another decent creature. Draws a card. Crews our Mobile Homestead on 3. And hello, Honest Rutstein. All right, we are black-green, I believe. And this is exactly what we want to do. Mill ourselves for creatures, for Rise of the Varmints, and also all of our creatures cost 1 less. Yes, please. So we'll take that here and just fill out a nice little black-green deck with ideally maybe a couple more graveyard payoffs. We've got the 1 Mourner Surprise and the 1 Rise of the Varmint so far, and everything else is a creature except for the Mobile Homestead, which is kind of a creature but doesn't technically help Rise of the Varmints or anything like that. There's the other Mourner Surprise. We could get it back on the wheel because I think I'm taking Spinewoods Paladin here. Just a nice, solid 4/5 drop. There's also Shepherd of the Clouds, Mystical Tether. There's some good white. We probably could have found ourselves in green-white here. I want to draft this deck, and I finally got a Rise of the Varmints and able to build around it. So, ooh, Thoughtseize? Okay, I could play a Thoughtseize. It's either that or Sterling Hound, which honestly, I would play a Sterling Hound. Or Raucous Entertainer, it might actually be pretty good for us, but let's take the Hand Disruption here. That could be one of our non-creature spells that we could include. I don't think Raucous Entertainer comes back because it is a green card, and green is good, but I'm going to go ahead and just take the Mythic off the bonus sheet when I can. That's a late Hellspur Posse boss. The card's good. Another Shepherd of the Clouds, but I think I'm just going to take the Giant Beaver here. Black is completely gone. So maybe we get a few more green cards this pack, and then pack 3 we get some black coming this way. Makes our Bucolic Ranch a little bit better as well. We currently have 1 mount. The Beaver will make it 2. Hard Bristle Bandit, Ambush Gigapede, and to a lesser extent Binding Negotiation. I don't think we need that because we got the Thoughtseize, so we could take the Gigapede or the Bandit. I guess I'll take the Bandit as a little bit of ramp towards this kind of stuff. I would probably play a Gigapede as well, though. Commando, Link Breaker. I think I'm just going to take the Commando here. Don't think this is necessarily a Link Breaker deck. Only thing we could really play here is Corrupted Conviction, and I don't think I want to, so I'll go ahead and send that to the sideboard. Skullduggery Mobile Homestead number 2. I'll take the Skullduggery. I don't think I need 2 of these. I think they get worse in multiples. So let's just take the Skullduggery and hopefully probably not play it. Make Your Own Luck. Could be a splash card. Baron Bertram, probably not for our deck either. So in pack 3, I would like to get probably 1 more Patient Naturalist, 1 more Rise of the Varmints, and then like 1 more Mourner Surprise among a couple of more good creatures. That would be like an ideal situation here. And the Bucolic Ranch currently works with 2 mounts. If we get 3 or 4, it's probably playable. Alright, Locomotive came around. Probably not something I'm interested in playing necessarily. I could play an Overzealous Muscle if I felt like I had to, but I probably don't want to. Alright, couple of interesting cards here between Throw from the Saddle and Back for More. Both of these are quite good. I think Back for More does what we want to do better than Throw from the Saddle. That could just be wrong. I mean, this is really close. It's a 6 mana, but it does reanimate something and also fights. This is 2 mana, +1/+1 and bite. They're both very good. I probably need the cheaper interaction. As much as I would actually like to and take and would play a Back for More, I think I got to take the Throw from the Saddle actually. So let's take that here and still hope for the other cards that I had mentioned I would like to get access to this pack. Okay, we don't have a lot of deserts, but there's a Desert's Due, an Ankle Biter, and by a lot of deserts I mean any. Could take the Mirage Mesa. Or just take the Ankle Biter, I guess. Ankle Biter is good with Throw from the Saddle. We might just have to give up on the whole desert plan here, considering we haven't really taken any. And if I take the Dew, then I have to hope I can get a desert. Otherwise, it's just like a mediocre removal spell. The Cactarantula is fine at 6 mana. It's just slightly better at 5. So I guess I'll just take the world's worst second pick of Ankle Biter there. But the world's best third pick of Honest Rutstein, I do really like Rush of Dread. This card is really good, and we're getting hooked up in black here. There's a Mourner Surprise. If this wheels, that would be great. Even if the Sentry wheels, that would be great. But I can't pass up a second Honest Rutstein, and we're still hoping for Rise of the Varmints here. We've got 5 more picks. To see one... Ooh, I will take a Desperate Bloodseeker. A shame this has to be in the same pack as a Festering Gulch, which I would love to have access to as well. But I gotta take the Bloodseeker. It's exactly what I'm trying to do with Honest Rutstein, Varmints, things like that. I would just kill for a second one of these. Currently have 15, what is it, 15 creatures? Yeah, alright. Patient Naturalist, that is a card I said I wanted another one of, so we will take it here. 3 more picks to find a Varmints. No, but Lively Dirge is a good payoff for what we're doing as well, though. You know, it can reanimate the Honest Rutsteins. It can set up a double Bloodseeker to mill us for a Rise of the Varmints potentially, but I'll take the Lively Dirge and very likely play it. Cactarantula number 2, sure. All right, we got a Rise of the Varmints in this pack. I just feel it. I can feel it coming. Nobody else is in this deck. It's just us. Come on, give me one. It's going to be right here, hovering over it. Gonna nail it. I can just feel it. Just feel it coming. Well, I wasn't hovering over any card, but I was hovering over a Badlands Revival, which is a very good card for our deck. So we didn't get the second Varmints here, but we did get a lot of good payoffs for what we're doing. And the Back for More wheeled. Okay. Alright, so we're kind of doing the thing here. I would have loved to get an Armadillo or something like the 7/7. Probably don't need Skullduggery. There's nothing in that pack. I knew there wouldn't be because the first pack didn't really have any. And what's our mount count? 2 for the Bucolic Ranch? Maybe. Take the Buzzard, but it's probably not a card I necessarily want to play. Drover Grizzly, also a little bit desperation mode for that. And last couple picks here. And I'll build this deck and see you after deck building. All right, after deck building, here is where I ended up. We are playing 17 creatures. We do have 2 mounts in the bucolic range, just because this is like a mana sink later in the game, just to kind of filter through some cards on the top of our deck if we want to. I did actually cut the Thoughtseize. This is one of the first times I've consulted 17lands.com to see what its win rate was, because I didn't know if it could be very, very good, and I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't too bad or wasn't too good. And honestly, it was a 53.9%, which is below average for 17 lands users. Average is 55. So it's a below average card, and I had to cut that because every other card works toward our game plan. We have all creatures, reanimate creature and fight, reanimate creature and get another creature, create more creatures based on creatures, reanimate creature, and are basically only removal spell, except for Back for More. And everything else is a creature that either mills ourself, gets things back, and I'm excited for this one. I finally got what I hope and think is the best version of Green-Black I've gotten to draft. And I'm excited to give it a shot. So, without further ado, I will see you in game number 1. Alright, this hand is certainly slow, but we've got both colors of mana. I got a Naturalist, a Rutstein to kind of discount our creatures from there. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it and hope we can find... the Naturalist will help us find a 4th land, but a 2-drop would be great. Desperate Bloodseeker would be, like, really good. No 2-drop, but we'll survive. Suspect of the counterspell here, as they did leave up Island and Pass. So we'll see if they do have Phantom Interference here. If they do have that, I mean, I'm not just going to play a 3/3, and I'm not going to play Rutstein, so I guess I'll just have to let them counter this, which isn't great, but I mean, Rutstein could still get it back here once they do counter it, and then... No? Okay, we'll get the trigger. I'll take it. Got a Cactarantula. Okay. Armadillo. Alright, so they chose either not to counter it, or they didn't actually have the counter, but they thought about it for a while. So I do think they have the counter here. Hopefully no reanimate. I have had a turn 3 Spinewoods Armadillo reanimated on me in this format already. Let's just go ahead and plot that. Take a turn off here. Next turn we could play Rutstein, get back Cactarantula, and also play a Free Strider Commando. That's a pretty good use of our mana. And then the following turn we potentially have all sorts of things. Bristle Bandit leaving up a potential counterspell here. Alright, well let's start with this then. There's the counter. Okay, so they did have the Essence Capture. So I'll play Rutstein, and then do I get Cactarantula or Paladin? I think I'll just take the Cactarantula, and then just go ahead and play a 3/3 because I can with my mana here. And then if Rutstein survives, which very well might not. Even if he doesn't, we could still just play a Cactarantula next turn with the land we have. And then also the following turn. Can't quite plot this and cast the Beaver. That would be 7 mana. So maybe next turn we just land Cactarantula, and the following turn we plot cast Beaver, assuming Rutstein survives that long. It's usually a kill on sight card before they get too much value, so we'll see. Rotting Sphinx. Well, at least the Cactarantula can block that. And if they deal with this one, we get to draw a card and then play another one. And if they deal with that one, well then, good for you. I guess they could have, like, Throw from the Saddle or something. I mean, I don't know exactly what their deck... I guess it's a blue-green deck. Armadillo, Capture, Sphinx, yeah. More than likely blue-green. Maybe splashing red. Okay, saddle up the giant beaver. Put a counter on that thing. And if they trade for Cactarantula, okay. I hope they don't have 2 removal spells here, though. Yeah, that would have been ugly if they had 2. Alright, so they're just kind of going bigger than we are, unfortunately. I think mana efficiency says we go beaver plus plotting this. I would like to get a 5/5 here. The 3/3 isn't doing much for us. We have to take 4 to do this, but I think that's okay. So let's do that and plot here. And then pass. And gosh, this Sphinx has just always been a problem for the majority of my decks. Things like Mourner's Surprise would be pretty good. Already used up the Dirge. Tumbleweed Rising, make a 6/6. Yeah, I think I've drawn 3 or 4 straight lands, I think. Alright, hope you don't have the counter again. Okay. Can't attack with this into either of these things, so go ahead. And now if they deal with this Cactarantula, then not looking great for us. I've got Back for More and Throw from the Saddle as my only 2 interactive spells here. Everything else are creatures and creature recursion. They have put up defenses that are tough. And here goes the Cactarantula. Yeah, okay. That could get another one here. Do we have 10 mana next turn? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So no. So I can't cast this. I could cast that. Get this one back to the battlefield and then plot the Paladin from my hand. That might not be too bad. Actually, I could cast the Paladin because it would cost 4. Okay. It's not too bad. I have to take 4 now. So I go to 7, at least 7. See what else they've got. Oh, take 11 and die. Alright, well, GG. Yeah, okay, sure. Alright, hand looks pretty darn good to me. Bloodseeker into Tumblewag. Here we go. We've even got 2 ways to recur. Tumblewag if it does happen to die. Turn 1 ankle biter that. That puts puts a wrench in my plans. Okay. Green white. Mounts. Best deck in the format. Here we go. I think I gotta play this now. My mana situation isn't great because I'm probably still playing Tumblewag next turn, but... Alright, +2 plus whatever and trample. Actually... guess I'll just trade this thing off. I'll be mana efficient here with the Tumblewag. Obviously exposing it to throw from the saddle and things, but we do have several ways to get cards back at this point. So let's see what they've got. No, they just got a busted green-white deck, it looks like. At least they're missing lands. That is the consolation. Okay. Land wouldn't be so bad for me because then I can Bloodseeker and Commando here. I just gotta get onto the board and make sure that I don't die to this onslaught of aggressive creatures. Instead, I did not draw the land. I think I can afford to do this. But if they draw removal for this Tumblewag, that's scary. So when this thing attacks, it's going to attack as a 4/5 if it's saddled. And then get a counter from Miriam as a 5/6, which I can't block. I mean, I could. It's just not great for me to block it. They could also return the Aloe Alchemist to their hand to get trample value in the future. Or even Frontier Seeker to try to find a land. I think they thought, oh, any number of creatures. I thought it was only one. I guess I'll trade the Tumblewag for it then. Got multiple ways to get it back, but, I mean... Trained Erics, yeah, just more busted green-white. Green-white plus missed land drops on my side. It's not a great combo. I mean, I've got all my recursive spells here, but potentially not enough time to cast them. Oh, they're just going to play it. Okay. I got a 5/5, so that's a problem. And next turn I'll have two 5/5s, which is also a problem. Swamp would be pretty good draw, because then I could Mourner's Surprise and Bloodseeker potentially. I mean, I could even just Lively Dirge the Tumblewag next turn. Okay, I guess they were too upset about missing land drops, but like so was I, so. Alright, sure. Alright, we're up first here with Varmint on 2. Potential Commando on 3 if we don't draw anything better. And then some removal as well, so. Ooh, that is something better, I think. So we will, I think, lead on Naturalist on 3 now. Ah, well, boo. That, I think, is even better than that one. Alright, let's see if Tumblewag survives. It's usually kill on sight kind of card if they've got it. No plays at all. Alright, well if we're going to try to leave up some sort of counterspell, then I'm just going to plot a commando here. Oh, they don't have anything. Okay, so yeah, I'm definitely just going to plot the commando. Oh, now they have something. What do you have now? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. That's just a way to not take damage? I don't know. Maybe they thought they didn't see the 2 counters on it and they forgot it was just going to be a 2/3. That's very possibly what it was. Okay, now they got a swamp. Down goes Tumblewig, I'm sure. Yep. And plot their own commando. Sure. Let's mill a couple. Get the swamp back. I think I'll just play the bandit, play the commando, attack for 4. And this is kind of how I envision this deck playing out here. Just kind of overwhelming the board. Okay, I don't like them passing with all the mana up, though. That's not great. Turn this to the battlefield, return this to my hand. Yeah, okay. That is how I want this deck to operate, and it did work that time. Alright, this hand does need a little bit of help in the form of some Self-Mill and Patient Naturalist or Desperate Bloodseeker, but I don't think it's a mulligan. I mean, we've got Bristle Bandit on 2, and I say Rutstein on 3, but there's nothing we can really do with these 3 cards yet. Double land certainly isn't going to be the answer here. Playing against green-white, and currently don't have anything, and drawing 2 lands off the top wasn't ideal. So here comes a creature, saddle it up, attack me for 2. Now down goes that, hit for 4 now. I guess that's something Rutstein can get back. So sure. It also makes Cactarantula potentially castable next turn if I could draw a green. If this survives. And if Rutstein dies, that's a pretty good thing to get back with things like Mourner's Surprise here. In fact, I think it's worth just preserving my life total and trying to get it back with Mourner's Surprise. And if they've got a combat trick, then I get it out of their hand here. If they've got something like Take Up the Shield, they might be thinking about using. Oh, nothing. Alright, well, in that case, let's... Let's Mourner's Surprise the Rutstein and then play Bandit. Okay, so they've got something that can target a creature here. So I do think it's more than likely take up the shield is my guess. Sheriff, okay. So we've got 6 mana here. So 1, 2, 3. I shouldn't have played the land, but it'll be okay if we want to play Rutstein. Because we're milling. Ugh. Didn't hit a single creature. That's not great. Do I even want to play it now then? I don't think I do. I was hoping to hit like at least a creature. Okay, nothing, sure. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana, so 5. No, I guess we've got Beaver and Plunderer here is likely best. And I think we're off to a good enough of a start here that it would take a lot to win for us to lose in this spot, but there are plenty of busted rares that could definitely do it. So I'm not leaving it out of the question. These are the moments where I regret not attacking first, because I give them all the information on what to do here. But they're playing green-white. Again, there's nothing they can do at instant speed without creatures on the battlefield. So... Oh, they've got Snakeskin Veil. Okay. So what do I do about that? I attack with Beaver into it as a 5-powered creature and also saddle some things up here. Let's start with this. Okay, so we know they've got the Snakeskin Veil now. Still just one creature, but, I mean, sure. So let's do this. And then saddle, I guess, Vault Plunderer here. Get on in with Beaver, put the counter, still play around Snakeskin Veil. I mean, they could just trade, but then we just have so many creatures here. 5 mana still. Rutstein, get back Commando, cast Commando, or just cast Cactarantula. Both are pretty good. Think I'm going to do the Rutstein Commando line, and then they're probably dead next turn. Unless they have some sort of board wipe that I don't know about that's all green. Good card, but I think I can play around it. Are they thinking about what to throw from the saddle here? If they pass, do I have lethal? So they block all this. They take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So not quite just yet, but very close. But I could still Rutstein something back if they do decide to, like, eat this Rutstein. Put them to, like, 1. I might want this mana. So I'm just going to do this first. Only because I want to tap this for mana. And I may as well... Well, I don't necessarily want to saddle it. They could have... something that could make me regret attacking all here, but they have to make some blocks that are probably not great. In fact, I think they have to block these 2 and 1 of these, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. Oh, okay, so I guess not anymore. But I think that's fine. Seven, 8, 9 ticking here. Sure. Or 8, I guess. 5 mana left. That'll go to the battlefield. That can go to my hand. And then that can go to my hand, and just hope they don't have some big trample board wipe thing. Okay, that's a counter. I can still make blocks, but we know one of the cards in here is Snakeskin Veil at the very least. So what is the other one? No need to get cute. I'm just gonna... Yeah. Oh, they have something else as well? Oh, double Snakeskin Veil. Okay, they're still dead, so that's fine. Alright. The double Honest Rutstein, double Naturalist kind of thing worked out for us there in the end. Got past the green-white deck. Alright, starting on the draw for the 5th time in a row? 4th time in a row? Something like that. But we'll keep this hand and go against a miner to start. Why not? I guess I'll trade that for an ankle biter and get it back with Rutstein. I mean, they can get this thing back continuously, which doesn't feel great, but I don't want to... Usually if I could just, like, set up my defenses and just, like, start playing creature after creature after creature and gum up the board, that usually works out just... That card absolutely hoses my entire deck. Yeah. Okay, so Rutstein doesn't do anything anymore. I guess it makes my creatures cost 1 less, but that's pretty much all it's going to do. Yeah. Okay, that's... Rise of the Varmints doesn't do anything. Not that I've seen that yet, but sure. Huh, this is tough here now. Okay, gotta figure out a way past this one. We got a lot of big creatures, so at least there's that. Okay, make a treasure. If we draw land, we can play Cactarantula. If we don't, we're probably plotting the Paladin. because we're not under a ton of pressure, because we'll have a 5/5 next turn. Alright, here comes the attack. Maybe, possibly, who knows? Thinking hard and long and hard about it. Okay, we did draw the land. Play Cactarantula. Wait around. Okay. And if we draw another land, we play Rutstein and then play Giant Beaver. Because Rutstein will make the creature spells cost one less. And the unlicensed hearse means Rutstein is never getting anything back from the graveyard here, so. I don't know what you got, but no thanks. I'll attack. I'd rather my creatures die when I'm attacking rather than when I'm blocking. Okay. Alright, so we did draw the card. We'll get to go Rutstein Beaver here. So let's commando attack. Rutstein will attempt to get back Cactarantula. In response, the hearse will just exile it. So, alright, attack with commando. Alright, play Rutstein. Doesn't really matter exactly how we do it, but okay, there goes Cactarantula, as we thought. Play the beaver. And end the turn. And hopefully our creatures are big enough to be able to continue to attack. There's the Mind Raider. There's the dog. He doesn't like rain. Give him a break. Okay, there's another Rutstein. Let's do this to get the discount. And then I could also saddle up the beaver. And then when this Rutstein dies, we play the other one, and then they exile our stuff again, so we don't get anything back. Yeah, if they didn't have this hearse, this game would be well and truly over. They've got some sort of removal spell in hand, too. Ah, there it is. Ooh, if both of these die, this Rutstein could actually get something back here. If they do trade for both. Nope, looks like they won't. So we just play this, they exile both creatures, now they got a 4/4 over here. They are at 10 though, but the 4/4 is pretty good. I've used a lot of my biggest creatures already. It's just, this is like the absolute perfect card against our entire deck here, so we just have to fight through it. Jeez, this is just so annoying. And I guess we can cast this in response to them using Hearse after they kill one of these things, which is actually pretty good. This would come back as a 5/5. Sure. Okay, in the turn, they'll go to exile it. We'll bring it right back and kill. Probably just this thing, because this one can't block. So now we have 2 lethal threats here. And if they don't draw anything, then we win. That should still... well, they technically don't die now. They chump and chump. So we can afford to attack with everything, because their only option is to crew the hearse and block and then chump this one. So I think we're actually good to attack with everything, right? Because if they go to block, they can't block either of these. Yeah, so this might actually still be lethal, because they block here, they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they have to chump, and yeah, I think this is actually lethal. Oh, never mind. There's a card in our graveyard, so that's going to become a 5/5. So it's not technically lethal, but they do go to 1. At some point here, maybe, possibly today. They might. Alright, go to damage. What other action do you have? To recrew the hearse with Vadmir now? There we go, finally. Alright, go to 1. I play Naturalist. Give back a land. May as well play it. End the turn, you draw, and then concede between 1 and 30 seconds from now. There we go. It was closer to the 1. Alright, got the win there. There we go. Okay, we go first, and this hand is incredibly slow. But we'll be fine. We got plenty of early drops we'll draw, except for the 3 or 4 lands in a row that I'm sure we'll find. But we can plot Rise of the Varmints on 3 at the very least, and then at some point play it for free, plot this on 4, and hope they don't play just like crazy 2-drop after crazy 2-drop. Yeah, I'll get a creature down. Alright. We did hit 3 creatures. That's pretty good for the Rise of the Varmints. They're pretty good ones here, but I'll take it. Okay, so this one is like make a mercenary every time you cast your second spell. That should be fine. Let's just plot here. I could have cast it off of the treasure, but actually next turn I can cast Cactarantula off the treasure and a Spinewoods Paladin. That seems okay. Hope they don't have any graveyard hate here. Okay, Brimstone Roundup, play a second spell, make a mercenary. Let's see what the second spell is. Summoner, it's 3/3. Well, that's a pretty good little combo. But is it going to be good enough to deal with my board? The Lively Dirge is okay, but the Rise of the Varmints, they're kind of like a nombo, because this just brings things back to the battlefield and stuff. Although I can bring back a Bloodseeker, and then actually for 5 mana tutor up the other Bloodseeker, bring them both back mill 4. That's pretty good. And then that makes the Varmints pretty good as well. What does this even do? Whenever you cast a multicolored instant or sorcery from your hand, exile it instead of putting it in the graveyard. As it resolves, if you do, it becomes plotted. Okay. Let's do the double Bloodseeker plan, like I said. Again, sorry about the dog. Hopefully it's not too loud through this mic. It's a very directional mic here. Alright, creature. Ah, boo. Land. So whenever that attacks, you make a 3/1 if you control, which they likely will. They could attack with it. I don't know how much I want them to be able to attack with it. I could just, like... If they attack, though, like, I could just swing back for a lot here. Also got throw from the saddle. Yeah, they make a 3/1, but, like, sure. I can really put pressure on their life total. And if they do start trading, the Rise of the Varmints just gets bigger and bigger. There's not a lot of multicolored instants and sorceries necessarily, so I think I actually care more about killing the summoner. That could be wrong. Oh, this has prowess too, though. No, the summoner's only good when it attacks, and I'm just going to bank on the fact that they're probably not going to be attacking a ton here. What is this? Oko. Okay. Elk my Cactarantula? No? All sorts of triggers happening here. Pump that, attack with it, make a 3/1? I mean... I have to kill Oko here. No, turn that into an elk. Alright. I guess we'll do this. Oko is something we do need to kill pretty badly. If I attack here, they chump. If I attack, they still chump. They eat something. Oko takes 2. I Rise of the Varmints for 6. Oko's still going to be at 5 here. I get an extra 2/1 out of this. And Oko does still take 2 here, so that's good. Alright. Now what? What you got, Oko? Alright, so Elk your Bandit's Hall. You got a 3/3. And whiff. Well, what can we do here? So we can play around a removal spell by attacking with... So if we attack here, Oko dies, but they eat both of these, and then they remove one, so we have to do this, which means we then do this here. What if we just attack them, though? Like, they eat these 2 and they take 12, 13? But then Oko can still do his thing. Make foods and gain life too. I don't like this, but I gotta make sure Oko dies. The Bloodseekers have to go, or they... Oh no, what does this mean they have? Surprised they killed the 2/1s and not my Bloodseekers. I guess they know that I have value of having more creatures in my graveyard here. So maybe that's why they did it that way. But now we're kind of stuck for at least a moment. And we've gotten rid of a lot of our best cards. Honest Rutsteins are here. Lively Dirges is here. Back for More would be a really good draw. Bucolic Ranch isn't that bad. I mean, it lets us, like, scry every turn for a bunch of mana, which is fine because we have a bunch of mana. Malcolm, okay. We're at 34 here, so I feel okay about my life total, but they cast 2 spells, they get a Mercenary and Investigate, draw an extra card. None of that's super great. Skullduggery, maybe? Fling. Just desperate to get an extra trigger and draw the card there, maybe? Sure. Oh. That's brutal. I need back for more, like, now? That card's really good. Put on the bottom? Yeah. That's not gonna do anything for me. Ugh. I mean, I guess. Oh, it's a mount. It just goes into my hand. I forgot about that. Okay, good, good. Go to the main. Swamp, Tumblewag, and then do I just play my 3/3? This thing could just mill me out at this point. I've got 13 cards, and it just starts, like, 3 cards are coming off of my deck next turn. Man. I have to, like, go. They get to eat 2 of these, but they take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe. They probably trade for 1. I gotta try to beat Laughing Jasper Flint, because I only have back for more as a way to remove it, and if they flip that with this ability, then... Okay, go to 6, sure. Okay, what'd you hit? Commando, Badlands, back for more. Those are the exact cards I pretty much said I needed. Unfortunately, so... What do they got over here? Lila. Does this get Planeswalkers? No, but this does. So we're going to lose to Laughing Jasper Flint here. I mean, may not lose. We got a lot of creatures, but, like... I don't like my chances. They're going to double spell. They're going to get another Mercenary. Get Oko back to your hand. Kill my creature. Oh no, they didn't cast the Oko one. Still cast a 3/3 though, and get a 1/1, and then have 6 creatures. And then I have 7, and I can't get through, and that's my last removal spell, and... So I'm going to get decked by this thing. I mean, I guess I'll keep that. Go to the main. Go to combat. Hit here, but this is all a futile effort at this point. This card is really good if you can't deal with it. Like, really good. Five? I have to win next turn, which I don't think is possible. Yeah. Dang. Alright, Laughing Jasper Flint got us. We're at 36 and we lose to Milling. Alright. Alright, we're up first here with the hand. With green, this is outstanding. Without green, like if we can draw green for Naturalist, we'll find a green. This is risky. Very, very risky. It's probably a mulligan. Probably, I mean, it's definitely a mulligan. But here we are. With green on top of our deck, and we'll be fine. That's not what I meant by green on top of our deck. Green-white mounts. Here we go. Prairie dog. Sure. Yeah. Here we go. Hey, look. We got the green. We're good to go. Give me another green. Yeah. There we go. All right. Now we're fine. I got 2 creatures in the yard already for Rise of the Varmints. Lively Dirge. We can do for the double Bloodseeker value now to make Rise of the Varmints just huge at some point. If we're not already dead is the issue. So Dirge is 5 mana combo, so let's just plot here. Pass. Playing against green-white for what feels like the 5th time this draft. Wanted Griffin. Okay, Cactarantula could deal with that one. By deal with, I mean block. I will trade Naturalist for Miriam if they choose to attack here. Looks like they didn't. So we're just gonna do the Dirge combo. Go and get Desperate Bloodseeker. Return both Bloodseekers. Mill ourselves for 4. Hit just 1 creature, which is pretty horrible, but here we are. It is something we can get back and play next turn with Honest Rutstein, though. So, sure. Really don't want to see more flyers here. Okay, 4/4 lifelink. Do this, and then go to combat. Continue bashing, I guess. Or not continue, but start bashing with a 6/6. And next turn we've got Cactarantula. If we draw an exactly a plains, we've got both of these creatures here. Okay, they got a 6/6 lifelink now. Might feel pressured to block this thing. Throw from the Saddle would be pretty good at this point. No, okay, I guess I can do these two things. Let's go here, get in. And the fact that this has lifelink is going to make racing around it kind of difficult. Because they're going to be effectively at 6 more life than we can attack with. Okay, go to 7. That's decent for us. Rise of the Varmint's no longer that great. I guess if they just, like, pump all their mana into this again. Okay, make it a 7/7. So what do you have now that's gonna eat my commando or something, maybe? They clearly didn't do this for a reason. So let's go to combat, and I don't know how we're gonna deal with this stupid thing, like I said. We just have to go wide enough and big enough that we can... I can't attack into it because they're just gonna play like Snakeskin Veil, gain 8 life, make it an 8/8, and go from there. So, I mean... Gosh, the fact that that has lifelink is just so annoying. Oh, I could have plotted that. Oh, well. It's okay. We've got enough mana. We'll be fine. Yeah, I was about to say, Getaway Glamour is a pretty good one. Let's see if they attack with Prairie Dog now. I'm probably going to block with a ton of creatures because that just makes Rise of the Varmints better. If they do choose to attack with it, looks like they won't. Okay, I don't think we have lethal. We don't have quite enough creatures because they do have 7 lifelink here. They do have to block this in some way. And I'd be fine if they trade the Prairie Dog for it, honestly. Yeah, I want to get that thing off the battlefield. Okay, alright. Cast it as a 3/3 or wait for a 5/5. I think I want to cast it as the 3/3. And should I just get 3 more of these? They're at 14 here. I mean, 3 isn't a ton, but like it could just be enough. Like we go so wide here. I'll just take 3. I mean, again, we're going so wide that we could swing out next turn and probably be fine, depending on what they've got. Keykeeper, sure. Air Ink, sure. They'll be able to eat a couple of our creatures. Maybe only one of our creatures. Gain some life here too, I guess. Okay, I can take 5. Okay, 18, they block here, here, and here, and take 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They have to trade that off. These get to eat some things. They still have 4 creatures back next turn. I lose probably 2 of my creatures. They're at like 4 or so. But then, do I die on the backswing? I'm going to be at 22 life? So I could saddle this thing and attack as a 4/4, put a counter on itself, attack as a 4/4. And then they're probably going to want to trade with this. I guess the Erinks would trade with that, and then they would like eat these two things, but then take potentially a bunch of damage here. Okay, they have steer clear, unfortunately. So that just kills that outright. Now that makes our attack a lot worse, obviously. In which case, we could actually be dead on the backswing here. I didn't expect steer clear because they weren't getting priority at all, so that's good for them. That changes a lot. I think Trained Erinks blocks Paladin, and then they eat both Desperate Bloodseekers and take 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, which, like, isn't enough. No, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oh, they're going to eat everything, and then, yeah, and then we just die, I think. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're going to be at 22. If they draw a creature, I think they win. Dang. Steer clear. Steer clear is going to get us out of this draft here. Well, they might actually be like too short. Math is for them at this point. It's for blockers, but we don't have any, so math is for you. I'll let them figure it out. I think they might be too short, but let's see here. Because they get counters on everything now, but they gave away 3 power to add 3 more power. They might not attack with everything if it's not lethal. Oh, wait. No, these get counters as well. I think this might be Exacxes. Now that I'm thinking about it here. Exacxes. Ugh. Brutal. That was the best black-green deck we've had all format and could not get the trophy with it. So, I mean, you're not really going to get a better one. I guess you can get a second Rise of the Varmints, but that's about as good as it's going to get, and we just kind of... I don't want to say I punted away that last game because the steer clear was the difference between winning and losing, and we didn't know they had it, and then they triggered right as soon as we started attacking, and that was it. But they had to get kind of lucky to win on the backswing there, and they did. So, good for them. Got the loss. Take the 4-3. One more draft of this dumb format. See you Friday.